So, Craig, you work with coaches for teams and everything else. Help us understand this whole fast fuel, slow fuel, that whole metaphor a little bit.
Well, athletes are really concerned about fuel source and sustainable fuel. So when game is on, they're exercising, they want to have fuel for that, and they don't want to bonk during that event, and they want to have fuel throughout the day. And so they are looking at different fuel sources. How do they combine fuel sources to sustain that energy? It's a little bit like building a campfire when you're eating for an athlete, and for most people too. Let's just take grains for an example. So when you have a whole grain, it has the germ component, which contains fat. It has the bran layer, which has fiber, and there are some vitamins mixed in there. And that's great. That when you have the fat and the fiber, that tends to slow how quickly the grain turns into fuel. But let's say you've got a refined grain. Now you've taken off the bran layer, the germ layer is gone, so you've lost some of the fiber and the fat, so that speeds it up. It's more like a paper in the fire now. So you want to slow that down with some wood. So the wood foods would be like a fibrous vegetable, broccoli, green beans, carrots, asparagus, that kind of stuff. So you add a vegetable for fiber, that's a little bit of wood. You could also add a protein, because proteins convert very slowly to fuel. So any kind of meat or legumes would work for that. And then another type of fuel, your slowest fuel conversion, is with fats. And so that could be like a nut or a seed or a peanut sauce or an olive oil, olives. Fats are very slow to fuel. So when you take those slow sources with a refined grain, you have a steady fuel supply. But what people have done is they'll look at something like a refined grain and say, nah, I can't eat that because it's void of nutrients, which simply isn't true, because refined grains are enriched and they have thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, folic acid, that has the mineral iron. So those are in there. They put those back in. So you have this combined effect of all these fuel sources working together to support a sustainable energy level for the athlete. And I think that's what athletes and coaches don't sometimes understand, is that, how do I work with this pasta or this white rice or this white bread? It's like, you can totally work with that. And I think we're trying to put food in a box, a yes or a no, and it just doesn't quite work that way. It works better if you're just more open to working with what I would call fast and slow fuel sources, and then you can have all foods to work with.